Hello. I am trying to go live here on Instagram as well. And I thank everybody for joining. I don't know why I feel like I'm sounding all nasally and congested. That better not be the case. Nobody's got time for that, right? Let's see here. Why are you not being my friend? I feel like Instagram has been really mean to me lately. How are you guys doing over there in YouTube land? Sorry. You know what? This is ridiculous. This happened to me before. Hold, please. We're just going to switch phones. Keep it simple. But I appreciate you guys joining. This is the last live for a while because this is the season finale. So I appreciate you guys joining. And let me know if there's something you have in terms of questions. I tend to not do the best job of paying attention to the comments in the comment section, but I'm happy to try to entertain them even before going live on Instagram, if that is helpful. You have my full undivided attention. All right, I'm gonna try this again, and then see what it do. Okay, now it's working. So I'm now live on Instagram and YouTube. You guys, today is the season 7 finale, and I can't believe we're already here in 2021. I can't believe that I've wrapped up another season. But I'm really excited nonetheless to share this last episode with you guys. It's called Union. I have shared that I couldn't hold it in anymore. I basically had to let you guys know what this last episode was going to be about because I'm just so excited. This has been something that I've wanted to do, frankly, since I started the podcast. And so it's just really, really exciting. And I'm so proud of the episode and super excited about the content. So we'll get into some cheer chat, and then I will kick it over to the panel discussion. You are going to learn a lot about what unionization is all about, and I hope it generates a lot of questions and just interest, because I think it's just something that we need to do, period. But it's totally up to you guys who are currently in the NFL to move in this direction, but we'll get into it. Hi, everybody who's joining. I wish I could just say hi to everybody individually, but I guess then it would be an annoying live session. But let's go into cheer chat. I have to admit I'm a little salty because it is the NFL playoffs. It's such an exciting time, and my team just man, that was not a fun little game to watch because I don't know, it's just disappointing. I know that if it was not the Rona, then we would have been so loud. We just need that energy in our field. I don't know, they changed the name, it's Lumen Field now, but it was just missing that playoff vibe. You know what I mean? Where it's just people going crazy. And I mean, we're cheerleaders and everything, but I feel like we absolutely, with our fans, influenced the game, especially when it came down to playoffs. So it was just so hard watching the Seahawks play here in Seattle and no fans. And we just fell flat, and it was sad. I'm still sad, but I'm excited for all of the cheerleading teams that are left in the playoffs. I hope you guys have an amazing journey, that, you are able to get involved with, appearances and just hyping up the public. Hopefully nothing I didn't watch the championship game, but you saw that people were all up in the street celebrating and without masks and whatnot. Let's hope that's not going on, but just getting into the excitement of the playoffs. I know that that's a big deal, and there's some exciting teams that are in the playoffs. I can't believe the Browns just punked the Steelers like that. Anyway, it's juicy. I'm just going to be trying to go for the underdog at this point, but our season is coming to a close for a lot of people who obviously aren't in the playoffs. And, I hope in looking back at deciding to audition this year and going through the season, even though it wasn't like the normal experience cheering in the NFL, I hope you found it rewarding. I hope that it was worth it to you. I hope that you managed to stay safe and felt like it was a good idea, good experience. Let's hope for nothing else. It was not the most ideal situation, but I'm proud of everybody that went for their dreams anyway and made it work. And you know, hopefully the 2021 season, especially in terms of auditions, will yield a different result so that everybody's just kind of moving towards a new normal for NFL cheerleading in more ways than one. But obviously, having auditions and being able to be a little bit more incorporated into games as hopefully the vaccine rolls out and people end up hopefully moving into different stages of reopening their cities and their stadiums. I hope that NFL cheerleaders have a better season next season for sure. But as I was reflecting, because this is the season 7 finale, I just want to say a huge thank you to you guys, obviously, for listening and bearing with me. This past summer obviously was crazy, and we had a few episodes, and it was a limping along kind of season 6. But you guys definitely kicked back in and enjoy the ride of season 7. I just had a lot of episodes that I just really was excited to put together because they're just things that I've, like I said, wanted for a long time. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that I interviewed. Kicking off the season with Sabrina Ellison from the Warriors was just like, wow. I mean, everybody knows who Sabrina is. If you don't, like, where have you been? But she's amazing, and being so willing to do an interview for the episode was just really a huge honor for me. And it was a great way to start off the season. I just actually joined. I couldn't stay for the whole thing, but if you guys aren't aware, go follow this Instagram handle, The Cultivate Code. It is a new program that Sabrina and Amira Murad, I hope I'm saying her last name correctly, but they just launched, and it's a mentoring program. And as far as I can tell, it was free, but they had a webinar today. It was an hour long, and I can only say for the first 30 minutes, but you guys, to be able to get any sort of mentoring tips and advice on just being your best self, unleashing your code, I think is what I gathered before I had to leave, but just offering just words of wisdom that I think will help you not just in your dance career and improving as a performer, but also in life. I mean, I felt energized and really, really wish I could have stayed on longer, but definitely follow the Cultivate Code and stay tuned to see what else is in store for the program. I definitely hope to catch up with her during the break and find out more information, because I think it's just an awesome program. It sounds great to be mentored by some of the best in the game. Like, you can't beat it, especially if they're offering that. I don't want to say it's free if it's not free, but just soak it up. I mean, anybody who's willing to impart their knowledge and their experience, it's an honor and a privilege. So take advantage of it. And you guys, just for the record, please tag me and stuff, because I don't want to miss anything. And I'm more than happy to reshare, repost what you are up to, if you have programs going on, if you're teaching class. It helps me out a ton. I'm happy to share it out, but please just tag me so I can see it. But yeah, thank you, Sabrina, obviously, for helping kick off season 7. And I want to thank Sarah Yarbrough for coming on and talking about, just a difficult journey dealing with domestic violence. It was her platform as a beauty pageant contestant, I should say. But it was great to talk to her about her cheerleading background. I'm just giving you a little rundown of season 7, but I just want to thank everybody individually. And if you missed any episodes, go back and take a listen. Kayla Marie Jackson, who I love saying her full name, a super amazingly talented performer, former Atlanta Hawks dancer, and just handling it in the commercial dance space. She teaches classes as well. So talented. And she dropped so many jewels about transitioning from your pro cheer career into being booked as a commercial dancer. And I thought, that was broken down into 2 episodes just to give you all the scoop and all the skinny. It was just too many too many jewels of wisdom to trim down. But please go check that out. And thank you, Kayla, for giving your time. And we also interviewed Chrissy along with the Brooklynettes. I mean, just whoa, another powerhouse director in the NBA that agreed to share her time with the podcast and talk about her approach to leading the Brooklyn Nets teams and all the other entertainment teams. And it was just really cool meeting her because I really like what they're doing with their program. I think it's very unique. After they're doing the NBA dance team playoffs, they definitely were a team that stuck out to me, and I'm sure you guys all enjoyed their performances as well. So thank you, Chrissia, for coming on to the Pro Cheerleading podcast. My hair episode, Whip My Hair, was another one of my dream episodes, and I just want to take time to thank the panelists that joined for that: Kira Dior, Mariah Lewis, and Rosemary Asandu, all super talented hairstylists and entrepreneurs that are just killing the pro hair game. I mean, we all love our hair, and I just thought it was great to hear about how they launch their businesses, the different concerns people have with their hair, especially as a performer. So that's my baby. I'm still so proud of that one because it was just something like, how do I get the right people to make these episodes come to life? And Whip My Hair was just something that I've wanted to do forever. Also want to thank Marcus Sophis, another super talented dancer and performer, formerly with the Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue Dancers, and also a booked and blessed. I know I screwed it up once before and I probably just did it again, but he is a talented dancer in LA, and he gave his perspective as a male dancer and shared his journey. And I thought it was amazing getting to know him and hearing about how he just put all his talents to work to build his career to where he's at today. And then Kurt David was the last interview. He gave it was basically like a free speech that he gives to corporations and helping people navigate sudden change. And he just shared the basic tenets of his presentation with the podcast. And I just really want to thank him as well for his time. It was amazing being on his From Glory Days TV show. And I'm glad I got the nerve to ask him if he would be willing to be a guest on the podcast, because he just agreed with not an issue at all. And it was great to have him. And, we had some men on the show this year, which was cool. I mean, I'm hoping that can keep it balanced because there are so many amazing male performers and just figures in our space. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that in season 8. But you guys know that, I tend to try to do around 10 episodes at a time. Last week with all the craziness that we're going to just we're not going to overlook it, but good God, let's just please move ahead in a more positive direction than last week went. But I did re-release an episode where I interviewed Lee Gu because the documentary had come out on PBS, and I just wanted everybody to kind of have a refresher of my conversation with her about her film, A Woman's Work, the NFL's Cheerleader Problem. I know it's caused a lot of conversation, and I think it's good and healthy. I think it's just important that we examine the history of how changes have come about in the NFL space for cheerleaders. And, one of the things that I've been wanting to do for the beginning of time, or since the beginning of time with the podcast, is to explore something that was touched on in the film. And it's what would be the scenario if NFL cheerleaders decided to unionize? It was something that happened with the Buffalo Bills cheerleaders, the Jills, and unfortunately their union disbanded. But this episode is called Union. Apparently the Black Eyed Peas made a song called Union. It always just comes together. But I really wanted to take the time to educate myself, number one, and understand what goes into forming a union. What are the risks? What are the fears, whether they're justifiable or not? And I really just wanted to present you guys with all of the information because I'm hoping, as a goal, that we can just learn together and figure out if that would be the right direction for NFL cheerleaders to move in order to get the types of protections consistently across all 26 teams. And it seems like unionization is the answer to me. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm not a current NFL cheerleader, but I just wanted us all to explore the topic together. And so I put together an amazing panel that I'll get into in just a second. But that was one of my goals for this season. I just thought that, with all the changes that we've been seeing with coronavirus and watching our opportunities to dance, shift this year, I just think it's just time for us to have a seat at the table. And one of the things that I was hoping for this season was to be able to examine that. And let me just get into the panel. Let me just quit acting like, Okay, so you guys already know I talked about Wiku, but she's the film director for the documentary. So I invited her to be part of the panel, and she actually was very helpful in introducing me to Amanda Ross, who is a former Baltimore Ravens cheerleader. She cheered for 5 seasons. She was voted for the Pro Bowl cheerleader, and Amanda pretty much has been kind of leading the effort to learn about unionization. She invested time with the AFL-CIO, which I should have wrote down what that acronym stands for, but basically they're kind of like a union organizing organization, and they provide trainings to help people understand how to form unions. And so she, went to a training, got certified, and had been having conversations actually with the NFL Players Association, who had extended some assistance in exploring this in terms of NFL cheerleaders unionizing. And so we kind of put us in contact with each other, and I was just so on board with helping in whatever way I possibly could. And we've been meeting and talking for the past few months. And so she has been a huge piece of where we are just in terms of the legwork, because there is a lot of research, there's a lot of information out there and things that we needed to understand. And so you'll hear more about what we've been doing and where we're at in the process, and really the opportunity that's presented to you guys as current NFL cheerleaders about union. I want to say unionizing, I want to say unionization, but you get the drift. All about unionization and where we are and what the next steps are. So Amanda Ross is a very, very important and amazing lady that is part of the panel for this episode. And finally, this is again just a courage in reaching out to people and just hoping for the best. But I reached out to Sarah Blackwell. She is a very, very prominent employment attorney, and she's represented countless employees who have, experienced unfair working conditions or labor practices, wage discrimination, all sorts of things. And she represented a couple NFL cheerleaders, I should say, for the Saints and the Dolphins, both Bailey Davis and Kristen Ann Ware. And I wanted her perspective as an employment attorney, because as you look at the history of how changes have come about in NFL cheerleading, unfortunately, it's been because of some struggle and some drama and some lawsuits. But I just wanted to get her perspective on what it was like, kind of working with the teams or working against the teams, however you want to look at it in the litigation context, but also to get her perspective as to whether a union would make a difference in reaching some of the same goals that the lawsuits actually did in terms of improving some of the employment practices and the wages, et cetera. So this panel could not have been, any better than I could have asked for. I mean, we obviously has tons of research from preparing the documentary about what happened with the Buffalo Jills. And so having her perspective on what happened before was huge. And we had an amazing conversation, you guys, and it was just so informative. And then on top of that, it was just inspiring and empowering, because we're in a different space. Like, I feel like in the last 2 years since starting the podcast, there were all these taboo topics, and, people were a lot more afraid of saying things. And I just think we're kind of getting there to where people are less afraid to use their voice. And I think exploring a union is kind of the next natural progression of taking your voice and turning it more into action. And I'm just so thrilled to present this episode to you guys so that you can make an informed decision about whether this is something that you want to do. And, you'll find out the information in the episode about next steps to have an information session. We're having 2 of them so that people can ask questions and voice concerns. I posted in the story today, if anybody has questions about unionization, just shoot me an email, DM, whatever, answer the story question. and we'll make a note of it so that we can address that during the information session. It's obviously a chance to learn, so listen to the episode. If more questions come from that, then definitely reach out and do think about attending either Thursday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern time, or on Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 16th at 11 a.m. Pacific and 2 p.m. Eastern. So there'll be opportunities to ask questions. Don't be afraid, you guys. Like, it's just a topic. It's just an opportunity to shape something amazing in our industry. So let's just, shed the fear around it. It's not the big fat boogeyman. Like, we're just going to talk, we're going to learn, and we're going to explore, right? So that's the goal, at least for this episode, to wrap up season 7. I'll give you like a preview of what I'm looking forward to for season 8 after taking some time. Actually, in between that. So there's going to be, I mentioned it before, and everybody was so excited about it. And so it took, again, just having the gumption to reach out to people. But I went and shot for the stars with a career panel of some amazing former pro cheerleaders and dancers that would be willing to speak as on a career panel and really provide some coaching, some business coaching. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people in our community that are starting their own businesses and branching out into other things, especially if our pro cheerleading and dance opportunities aren't what they used to be, thanks to the Rona. But it's exciting to see people going off and doing other things. And so I wanted to try to put together a career panel of ladies that would provide some insight into how they turn into these extremely successful business women. You guys, I have people who are like Forbes listed, and like, I mean, it's just, I was too nervous to say anything before because they hadn't confirmed, but they all reached back out and were just like hands down interested and willing to do it. So now I'm going to name drop only because I'm just too excited, and I want you guys to be excited too. As soon as we get a date established, I'm thinking it might be like mid-February that I drop that as a bonus episode. But okay, so we have Pasha Carter. She is a former Atlanta Falcons cheerleader. I mean, she is, I don't even know where to go with it. She was a business coach of the year. She even owned her own TV network at a point. She, just coaches businesses and entrepreneurs. And we also have Ari Chambers. You guys, if you don't know who she is, please go follow and highlight her. She's a former Nick City dancer, and she covers WNBA. She's so passionate about female empowerment and women in sports, and her Instagram just showcases, women and girls of all ages doing dope things with sports and culture. And she was just named on the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Dope. Okay, so she's agreed to also be a part of the panel. And finally, Kelly Roach. She is another entrepreneurial coach. She's an international bestseller for books in terms of, she has like a podcast, the Unstoppable Entrepreneur Show. So she's a former cheerleader for the Philadelphia Eagles. So these are all people that come from our community that have done amazing things. And I'm just hoping that they will just shed any light that will like light a spark under you to go after your dreams, all of your dreams, not just your dance dreams, but your business skills as well, and any dreams that you have in that department. So look for that during the break. There will be a bonus episode with this career panel. And if you have specific things that you want to learn or have asked for these women, please reach out and let me know. I'll be posting about it, so you guys will see when that's coming up, so that you can kind of anticipate that and reach out with anything that you want these ladies to address. But I'm so excited and so thankful to them for just being willing to share their time. It's just going to be amazing. So there's some good things coming. There will be a bit of a break. And then I haven't exactly set when season 8 will launch, but I really hope by the time I come back that we have some audition information posted. We have some indication of what the NFL season will look like, and that in the meantime, that there's just a lot of work and support towards whatever you guys decide that you want to do in terms of moving that direction around unionization am here to help and support. And one thing I just wanted to mention is, you guys, before leading into this episode that you're about to hear, is just that you guys know I'm a passionate little person. I can't help it. I absolutely love and respect everybody that makes up this pro cheerleading community and this dance community. I think we are all connected in so many ways, whether you're alumni, an aspiring dancer, cheerleader, or currently on a team. And I just want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart that I care so deeply, but I just want what's best for you. You know, I want you to have the best experience. I want, you know, every little kid that's in a junior program or wishes they could be a part of the junior program to have the best experience. And I'm stubborn, and I just sometimes think that, you know, certain things just aren't good enough. You know, I think you guys are worth so much more. And I think that's what drives me and wants to, you know, pushes me to have this platform, frankly, so that I can hopefully, you know, amplify your voices and the concerns that you have. But I also know my place, if you will. I'm definitely not seeking, at least with this topic around unionization, you know, pushing for something that you guys on your behalf or something that you don't want. There's just a lot of, again, like time and energy and resources and like an investment to actually get the ball rolling, right? And so both for myself and Amanda, I don't want to speak for her, but I just think that we cared enough to just see what we could do to help, right? But ultimately, if this is something that you guys want, it is something that you'll have to actually dig in and hopefully reach out to volunteer and help with, because there are, you know, there's work involved. There's some administrative things and a process to follow. But I just wanted you to know that this is not to like speak for you guys and say that you want a union. I'm definitely encouraging you guys to express interest in it. That is like the initial and most critical step, is just by signing an authorization card to say that you are wanting to pursue it. It doesn't, I mean, it's just saying I'm interested in having one. And that is so necessary to have a lot of consensus, not just a couple people here and there, but like overwhelmingly the members of the current NFL cheerleading squads to come together and say, this is something that we want to pursue. And that kicks off the rest of the process. And so I just want you to know that it's something that I'm not pushing. There will be no union if you guys don't want a union. I'm just trying to present the information to you so that you can make an informed decision. And again, just trying to take having a platform where we have these voices elevated to something where we're now pulling up our seat at the table, having a role where you talk to your teams and the NFL and collectively like sharing experiences of what's the best practice for all the NFL teams. I mean, I've talked about this stuff till I'm blue in the face with different episodes, so I don't want to bore you guys, but I think there's just a lot to be gained from understanding, you know, Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders over here do X, Y, and Z, and it's amazing and great. And now Jacksonville Jaguars, the Roar, can also do the similar things. And here you have like just everybody kind of rising up to having the best program and experience that you possibly could have. And there's just so much power in it. I just encourage you to listen to the episode with an open mind and be willing to just learn and talk about it and explore it. And if you want to explore further, come join the information session Thursday or Saturday. And I just want you to know I care. I really, really do care. I think you guys put in a lot of work to get where you are. This is the top of the top in terms of our level. You guys have reached the pros. So we should be treated like pros. And I think your voices matter, and it's time to put those voices to action. So I really hope that you guys consider it. You sign the authorization card, and let's just see where this takes us. But with that, I mean, I guess I should just let you get into the episode. Please enjoy. Feel free to reach out with questions, and I will keep you informed as to when season 8 will drop. But keep an eye out for that career panel discussion. It is going to be amazing. And I might even make it a format where it's live, like a seminar, just so you guys can see these women, interact with these women, ask questions real time. That might be an option that I look at. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Please tag me. Like I said, I'm happy to repost in the interim, you know, just trying to stay active on the, even though I'll be on break. So happy to promote whatever you guys are working on. And until next time, geez, I dropped that tagline for people who know. It used to be until next time, keep your eyes on the sidelines, but we're not there anymore. So why say that? So anyway, until next time, though, I will see you guys when season 8 launches. If you have any questions that you want to put there, let me know now. I'll wait. If you want to answer the story as well to give questions for the information session, do that as well. But I'll wait here for a minute and then I will let you guys go. And I'm going to pop some vitamin C to make sure I'm not coming down with a little colds. But I hope you guys have a wonderful time in the playoffs. Stay safe. Have a wonderful start to 2021. Okay. We're just going to keep pushing ahead and act like some things that already took place will not take place again. We're just going to think positive and all that good stuff. So take care of yourselves. No questions. So I'm going to get into this episode. It's called Union. You guys take care. Hi, Kimberly Mitchell. Yes, the next episode will be amazing. So I really do hope that you tune in to the bonus episode with the career panel. Thank you so much for tuning in.